Yeah, thank you first for the invitation and for the introduction, Peter. I'm very proud to present what we have developed over the last years. It's not the last year, but years. And it's basically follows what Daniel already introduced to you. It's basically the for evidence medical device. And it's, as Daniel already introduced, a clinical decision support system. And this is one part we are working on in Leipzig. So I'm from the Leipzig University. Daniel is from the Leipzig Hospital, University Hospital. And we are collaborating very closely together, both working groups, research groups. And of course, to react on your question, it's not normal that the University Hospital has a research group or a research department because normally hospitals cannot have that because it's very costly, it's very cost intensive. And normally we take what is on the market. We would like to provide a system that we develop not only by our own, and we would like to provide that to the, let's say, public. And there are some burdens, of course, and I would like to report about that in the following minutes. So it's about clinical decision supporting. And of course, the reason why we do that is about patient safety, basically. The patients are in the hospital, and you want to be sure as a clinician that the patient safety is as most fulfilled as possible. And on the other hand, you want to participate in all the diagnostic innovation at the same time, yeah? Because you do not stop the innovations, but you want to participate all the innovations that are coming up. If you have a look what is on the stage, then of course you have different guidelines, clinical guidelines that you as a clinician can follow or should follow. And of course, what we have also heard today and probably also yesterday, we were not here, is the AI. So machine learning, deep learning, all this kind of stuff, generative AI that came up over the last years. The if and else, the guideline-oriented is basically what we call algorithms. So as a computer science, my background is bioinformatician. I'm a bioinformatician from bioinformatics. So what we can implement very smoothly, very briefly, basically taking the clinical guidelines and just asking what is in the guideline, and then we can decide what the guideline provides for specific decisions. And this is what the AMPEL system is about. AMPEL is the German word for the traffic light. As you can see here, we have, and you probably know that, there are three different lights on the traffic light. Red for alarming, please stop, do not go to the street, it could be very dangerous. Yellow, something went wrong, you are very late. And green, go on. Yeah? Nothing happens, probably nothing happens to you if you crossing the street. So, and we take this also in-house. We develop the system in-house, and we also provide the system in-house in the Leipzig Hospital. So we also heard about that, the clinical decision support system or the AI tools should not replace the clinician. We have the same intention when we developed the AMPEL system. For us, this clinical decision support system is basically a supporting tool as the telephone, as other kinds of tools that the clinicians already use for years. So not only now for 10 years or 20 years, but we used the stethoscope for, I don't know, 100 years maybe, I don't know, and other kinds of tools that are already available. So for us, it's very important that the clinician, the person, is in the middle and use what is there and what we can offer. When Daniel already introduced the point of evidence, and this is what we have observed over, let's say, different years, and I got and get different, let's say, mails, messages from different vendors every day. Please have a look to our product. But if I have a look to the product, or if I have a look to the website at least, I do not see any more information about the product, the variability, the validity of a product. So we have currently around 10 to 12 models available. We also published everything that we have researched, so all the outcomes that we have observed, that we have achieved, all the results we have published. Of course, as a scientist, you need to publish, but this is a point that I miss for many companies. Of course, the main issue of a company is not to publish results, but it's a point of trust. If you see the results of different studies, of large studies, then you can also trust, okay, this has been really studied, and it's not studied with 10 or 20 patients, it's really studied with hundreds, maybe 500,000 of participants. Yeah? And I really miss that. But of course, this is important for us as a researcher, and we have also observed different alarms. Not sure if this number good or bad. The more alarms you have, you also run in a kind of alarm fatigue, so that the people do not take care about the alarms you or your system provides. So we have alarms, but I can also show how good the alarm system is. One more point. I mean, it's a little bit advertisement, of course, but as far as we know, to the best of our knowledge, we are the only system in Germany that is from academic solution that is in practice in a hospital, working as a clinical decision support system, and we have this evidence available that we can show with our publications. And of course, we have some features, or the system has some features. We take the data that has been entered, and it's in real time. So if a clinician presses the enter button or save button, then the systems right away get the data and can analyze the data. And I will show you also a brief overview about the system architecture, but you can be sure that the data are in near time, not real time maybe, are delivered to the system and will be analyzed, and then the clinician can just briefly switch to the systems view and see what's going on with the patient. We also have traceable data streams, so we know where the data come from, and we also know how good the data are for sure. We have machine learning algorithms, we have evidenced patient safety, and of course we would like to implement our research results into the daily clinic, in the daily practice. And we would also publish the things that we have developed as open source. Just 1-2 slides about where we come from. So we started 2018, at the end of 2018, beginning of 2019, with a research project together with a company. And the goal was that the company develops with CDSS, and then we can take over the CDSS, and the company will take care of all the administration and later on, yeah, and maybe the company can also sell the product to other clinics and so on. But I don't want to go too much into the detail. At the end of the project, normally the project runs 3 years in Germany, research projects. At the end of the project, we sit together with the company and ask, okay, what is the next step? It's a research project and it has been used in the clinic so far. What would be the next step? Because the research project is over, how we can sustain the product over the next years. And the company, the first point that I learned, the company was not certified to create medical products. And we don't want to be certified. So the strategy was quite clear. If the company will not be certified or the company will not let themselves certify, then we cannot go with this company in the future. And we need to develop the product either with another company again or by ourselves. Then I also realized that the company was very specific in their developments for a very specific EHR system that we use in-house in Leipzig Hospital. And now it turned out that this system should be exchanged by another one. So there is no warranty anymore for this SAP system, as you're probably not sure if anybody use this system too. So that means also if it's very tightly integrated in the system, you also need to replace the system, the CDSS system, somehow. Yeah. So the decision was also to loosely couple the system with the EHR system, so that we are not depend on the EHR system anymore. And we have some also we would like also to integrate some AI stuff, which is very strange or difficult to implement in such a large EHR system, because normally vendor of the EHR system let you not directly develop inside the system, because which is very closed and you need to use the interfaces that they offer. And you are very small. You are just one customer. You do not you do not play a big role in that. So therefore, we decided to create a version 2 of a clinical decision support system by ourselves, because we also spoke with other companies, and it always turned out either, in my opinion, the risk was too high for them to take over the source code and develop it from, or to continue to develop that, or they want to sell their product by themselves. So we have an own product, and we want to sell the product by themselves first. And so our strategy was to develop the CDSS again by ourselves. And the major point for us was also to be independent from a company, and also have a right to do some research with a product, and also to publish results, so that we can achieve all the results that we want to have, and also to have this evidence that we would like to generate. And this is also what we would like to publish. So we would like to respect the medical device regulations. We are based on open source, and we would like to provide our solution open source. I will come back to it later. There is support for rule-based approaches, for AI-based approaches as well. We have different data source platforms that we support in the CDSS, and of course all the, let's say, non-functional requirements are true as well. Here, a very short overview about the system architecture. On the left-hand side, you see the data sources. When we use Kafka, publicly available library, software library that you can use for data streams. So they take the data out of a system, out of the EHR system, and bring the data directly to the arguments, to the models that we are using. And as you can see, there's also loosely coupled integration of our system, the platform that we are using, and the algorithms. We can add any kind of algorithms at the end. There should be also where the algorithms or the model should only fulfill the interface, and then we can deliver the data directly to the models and the algorithms, and then everything is working well. Of course, there is a visualization front end, and there are other kinds of notifications, and so that the clinicians will be informed about if something goes wrong. I do not go into the detail because time is running. We use, as I said, the Apache Kafka framework for that to have different data streams. We also had a look on the FHIR standard. We would like to model that the data very near to the FHIR standard, so that we are also able to, let's say, have an interoperability with other systems as well. One more point is that we set on a staging area where we where we get the data from. So all the data are normally delivered to the staging area in a large data warehouse, which is more or less common in large hospitals where a data warehouse is already available, and then we can take all the data out of that, so they have a common interface to all the source systems as well. We have different AMPEL models, and algorithms that take place at the end of the platform, so that the data will be delivered to all the algorithms and models. Currently, we have interfaces for Java and R and Python. And if we see there is the necessity to support model programming, then we can also simplify add that to the platform. There is one more point is about the alarming, the notification of the clinicians. We support different ways to do that. There is a visual alarm, basically the user interface, so that the clinician can basically jump from the EHR interface to the interface that we provide, so that that delivers all the details about what the algorithm has computed. We also provide phone support when we see there is an alarming major alarm. Then we also phone the clinicians on their stations. We also can send some emails and so on. And one more point about the alarm fatigue is also that we can suppress the alarms. So if we see there is say a wrong alarm, then we can also suppress it. So there's no more alarm anymore. Here is something about the visualization. You see basically the station overview. We have heard in the morning the poor interface. We need to live with that, so we cannot change the EHR system by ourselves. But what we can do is basically to provide the information that the clinical support system or the algorithms and models provide. We can show that in a very kind way. One more point according to the MDR, the Medical Device Regulation. We would like to support all algorithms which have a direct impact on the physician's decision. And normally, if you inform a clinician about the current state of a patient, and the clinician decides upon that, on your information, then all this kind of information is basically a medical device. So these algorithms, these models are basically devices, medical devices, and we should really take care about that. And that means 2 points. One is, of course, the documentation, the education of the clinicians. You need to provide some, as you have seen, the videos or what kind of ever you provide the education, and you need to do some, let's say, basic stuff that computer science already is doing. So all the integration tests, functional tests according to the software that is showing that the software is doing what it should do. And this is not only true for the platform, but also for all the models that we are using, for all the algorithms that we are developing, but that are directly included in the system. And we also very closely cooperate with QM department, which is part of our hospital. Of course, every hospital should have such a department. It's quality management, and we built a quality management system about that. And we collaborate with them and building all the necessary documentation that that is required to fulfill the medical device conformity, the in-house conformity. And of course, there are different more partners available that have or that bring in all the expertise that is currently missing in our department. So we have the AMPEL concept, which is basically has 3 parts: the input, that we take the data directly from the source system, from the EHR system, or the other kind of systems that we have running in our hospital. Then we compute the data, and then we output some decision support information, but we do not decide anything. We only recommend something. We give some more information about what we have computed, and we also try to explain in which way we have computed that. So that it's quite easy to understand, and it's easy. It might be easy for the clinician to decide upon that. And then we try to follow the in-house medical device. So we do not currently follow to certify that. It is very costly for sure, but for an in-house medical device, you need to fulfill all the documentation, and that's it. For sure, all the software tests and so on. And we have real-time access to all the clinical data. And one more point that is important for us: we can customize the software as we want. So if something that comes from the clinicians and they say, okay, we need this and that, we can implement it very quickly by ourselves. So we have different studies also according to the clinical decisions in patient care. So Daniel already introduced that there are randomized controlled studies that you can carry out, and which is not as easy as it sounds. For sure, we are always in contact with the ethics committee to find a way how we can do that. In particular, when there is an intervention. Today in the morning, we also heard that in other parts or in other locations, they do a blind study, so that they provide the information, but they blind the information that is shown to the clinician, so that the clinician is not biased with the system. We also want to do that in that way. We have a user interface for that available. We do all the kind of data collection in real time, we are with that able to run the studies by ourselves and to generate the evidence. Just one example. I told you in the beginning that we have 10 to 12 models already available and are already included in the system. One is the refeeding syndrome. Refeeding syndrome is about if you haven't, or if a patient did not eat too much, or maybe nothing, and then he or she eats a lot of that, then there is a danger that that could lead to the death. It's not very often the case, but it could be, and it needs to be detected by the clinicians themselves in the daily routine. And you need to ask patients about that, and patients also need to communicate that or communicate the truth to the clinician, so that it can be detected by the clinician. So we have seen that the 26% are already detected by the clinician. Our system, or with this model, we can discover 42% more. and there is also a rate of around 1/3 where we alarm in the wrong way. For this refeeding syndrome, or for this model, we use only a small set of data that is collected in the routine. So electrolytes from the laboratory, and then we do some we collect some data to extract some patients from the dialysis, for example, patients with transfusions with reduced food intake, and we take the data from different systems as well, and can then provide the information to the clinicians if there's a refeeding syndrome potentially available for this patient or not. So our current solution for the evidence in-house based medical device is basically we created the system, the platform with some of the models available. We have quick development so that if something happened, if there are new requirements occur, then we can react very briefly. That might bring us to high innovation also. Then there is a direct translation from the research to the patient care, because we develop that and we can bring it directly to the patient care service, to the bedside. There is, of course, a function available between the research and the routine care, and we can fully customize that, the solution, as we want it or as it, the clinicians want to have it. But this in-house medical device disallow, we cannot place our product on the market because it's not certified. It's a medical device, but it's we need to, if we want to place it to the market, then we need to certify that. And this is probably not the thing that we can bring up because it's so costly. And we can open source different parts of the platform, and we also want to do that, but we cannot bring that up as a whole product, because then we are not only the vendor, then we are also the deployer or the distributor, and we take over all the risk that could happen by other parties that use the product by themselves. That's a large burden for us, because we would like, as a researcher, you would like to provide everything that you have developed. So AMPEL, is AMPEL an open source medical device? No, it isn't. It's prohibited right now according to the medical device regulation. It's prohibited to share the in-house product as a whole. You cannot download that currently, but we will publish all our algorithms, all the models we are working on, all the core platform, everything that we develop, but in different parts. And if some of you want to use it, you can use it. But there should be let's say, a development part. You need to stick it together. Maybe you should also program the data feeding at the beginning and so on. And then you can make it by yourself. So this is our team, and with that, I'm at the end, and I'm free and open for questions. Thank you.